a big thing happened to me. I came out actually in November 22 and I told my family and I slept for 10 hours that night. Yeah. Because I kind of was like, oh, that's what this has been. It's been like a little secret, I guess, I've been keeping from myself even.
Can I give you a hug? Because
Yeah,
I feel
of
like
course,
you need that
you.
after that. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, what a few months.
I know.
I feel like that's the best place to start, isn't it? And I'm going to hit you with some facts. Baby Reindeer has been #1 in more than 70 countries on Netflix and has racked up over 224.2 million viewing hours in just 4 weeks.
Wow.
The stats are statting. How much of a whirlwind has this been for you?
I don't think any of us really expected it. I think when I watched like the first only 7 episodes on my own, and I definitely thought then, I think this is going to be good, and I think people are going to watch this. But I kind of thought it might be like a bit of an indie, slow burner, and then suddenly, everyone is talking about it, which is amazing.
When you were sat on your own watching it for the first time or in succession. What was your major reaction to it as a viewer?
When I read the scripts, I honestly thought it was one of the best things I've ever read. So my biggest thing was I just hope it kind of translates to the screen. And it really did. We've got amazing directors, Veronica and Josephine, who just did such a great job of capturing that kind of the tone of it. But I also was so, not to sound too wanky, but proud of him because I know him really well now. Obviously, we filmed it nearly 2 years ago. So just seeing everything that he did, all the scenes that I wasn't obviously part of, like episode 4, for example, just seeing just how amazing and brave he was doing all that. So I found that really emotional, seeing it in its kind of finished state. And just amazing. I've never seen anything like it, really.
I think so many people found episode 4 so harrowing and it was a very difficult watch.
Yeah.
But it must have been even more difficult knowing that you knew the person who was going through that and had gone through that as well. Was that quite a difficult thing for you to watch back?
Everyone was really mindful that would be a tough one to film and watch and do and be part of. But I think Richard is amazing and he's really well prepared. He obviously did it as a stage play years ago as well, so that's kind of like a bit of a dress rehearsal maybe. But yeah, the impact has been incredible. He works with a charity called We Are Survivors, and they've had something like a 200% increase in emails since the show's been out. And 55% of those people have said that Baby Reindeer was the reason why they reached out. And I think, friggin' out, you do this job to entertain and to make people feel like they can escape or just for something to watch with their mates. But you also occasionally get jobs that come along that are changing people's lives. And I know that sounds a bit dramatic to say, but it really is when these people are watching it and they're seeing themselves for the first time or seeing somebody who's gone through something similar to them and not feeling as alone. I think that's really special as well and important.
That's the power of entertainment though, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
And it can change so many lives. It's changing your life in real time as well. Was there a moment where you realised how big this was getting?
Well, I came out of my house the other week and a lady was just there on the street and just went, ah! But it's because she just finished episode 7. She finished episode 7 and walked out of her door and then I was there. So I understand why maybe that might have been a bit freaky. But yeah, so those little moments do kind of remind...
It's like she's escaped from prison! Well, if we take it back to the beginning of the Baby Reindeer journey for you, where were you at in life when this role came along, when you first got that email saying, do you want to come and audition for this?
Things were ticking along. We'd finished The Outlaws. I'm in a series called The Outlaws for the BBC, that's Stephen Merchant's series. And I think we'd finished filming that. And I've been working now for 17 years. So I was just living my life, plodding along. And then the email came through and I already knew about the play. So when the email came through, I did kind of get a little bit of goosebumps because I knew about Baby Reindeer. And then when I read the scripts, like I say, I was just blown away by them. And then, then went in for the audition. And it was a kind of a 4-month process, really, from when I got the email to when I got the call saying they'd like me to do it. And I probably went into an audition about 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah. But they needed to I get it, because they needed to get it right. They needed to get the chemistry between me and Richard right. And So I understand why it took that time.
Because you really wanted this role, didn't you? Because you went to quite, not extreme lengths, but you went to quite considerable lengths to try and get it, didn't you?
Yeah, well, usually I kind of am a big believer in if you write for it, you write for it. You do your
Yeah.
thing, you go in, and then kind of what will be will be. But I just was, I don't know, I had a real strong connection to the character. I really felt like I understood what Richard wanted from the part, and so I'd heard a little bit about they were wondering about like the age gap, whether it would read on screen as much. So I like even got a friend of mine to kind of put a wig on me and rush to be like, look at this, what about this, which I've never really done before. But I think it just was something that I just felt like I wanted to show that I thought I was right. And luckily, in hindsight, I've heard that Richard and Veronica were always kind of championing me, which is really nice to hear. Yeah.
I mean, you are exceptional at it, so it's no surprise they were behind the scenes going like, we really want you to do this, because the way you are able to go from being enraged to being breaking people's hearts within 2.2 seconds. Honestly, when you watch it, I don't know how you can physically do that. When it comes to the performance and being on set, what was the most challenging aspect of bringing Martha to life for you?
I think it's exactly that. I think it's trying to get every side of her, all those twists and turns, but in a really like truthful, believable way. And there's like a logic to all of that. I think in Richard's writing and in Richard's kind of creation of the character, there's like that she makes sense to me in terms of how she reacts to things.
What was the entry point into her?
I always think about that last voicemail that she leaves for him. I think that's the kind of core of the character, really. I kind of, as soon as I read that, I was really emotional, obviously, when I read that final email. But I think that's the kind of essence of who she is and why she finds such safety in him. That scene when she's like, I wish I could zip you open and climb inside. It was really funny because when I was auditioning, I thought that scene was actually really romantic. And I remember going through the lines with a friend of mine and she was like, oh my God, this is terrifying. And I was like, oh,
I thought this is really romantic.
I genuinely was, I've never read it like that, just because I think it shows that what he means to her, really.
Because you've got these 17 years of life experience as well when you come to playing Martha, do you think that enabled you to be able to cope with how difficult this subject matter was as well? Because it must have taken quite a big toll on you having to carry this story around with you for so long.
I mean, one thing I've definitely learned along the way is how to be part of a team. I think when you're filming on stuff like this, so many people are involved. There's so many talented crew members that built this show, and you don't know the system until you're kind of in it. It's a really well-oiled machine, this industry. And so I think that was quite freeing. And I think because I knew that and I had it down and I knew the kind of pattern of even just going to set, doing a rehearsal, blocking it through, knowing where the cameras were, knowing all of that is just in me because I've been working for so long that I didn't need to worry about that kind of thing. And I could focus on the character and getting that right and getting the character right and doing the story justice. I didn't have to go, oh crap, I've got no idea where my mark is, or you that's all given now, which I'm really lucky for, and that's what the 17 years has been leading up for. I've been doing jobs and learning as I go.
Was she quite hard to let go of?
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because I've said before, like whenever you hear actors say that, I'm always like, oh my God. Get over yourself. No, but in a way, yeah. Another thing that was hard to let go is when I did Pride. Because again, that was based on a true story. That was a real community feel. And I'm such a geek. I just love filming and being there. I'm like there all the time, probably annoying people like by the monitor. I love watching and I love feeling part of a team. And so you get up at like 6 and you're there to probably 9 most days, and you just do really feel like part of a family when you're filming. And then when it finishes, you're just done. So I really miss it when I miss any job, but I did really miss this because I really cared so much about the story. Yeah.
And how special was that relationship you built with Richard over the course of filming this and now that it's out in the world?
Yeah, it is special. I don't think I think I know him in a way that I've not really known anyone before. we've kind of gone through a bit of a crazy time together, and we filmed this now, nearly 2 years ago. Or the audition process was March 22, I think. So we've known each other for a while now, and I think when you work so closely with somebody, we've got a real special bond, and I really care about him. Yeah, and we're really close. I really do care for him.
Yeah. And because you knew about the show beforehand, the one-man show,
Yeah.
and now you've gone on this journey with him, and knowing everything he's been through and having to put that out on the screen too, how proud are you of him, and to say that you are been companions in this?
Oh yeah, so proud. Like I was saying earlier, the effect that especially episode 4 has had on people watching, it's just been amazing to be part. I'm so proud of him. I think he was really honest and brave in how he told this story. And I think that it's changed. He's having people talk to him all the time about how they've opened up to family members for the first time, and I just think that's just incredible. If people are out there feeling lonely and like it's only ever happened to them, and then they see someone else who's gone through something similar, I think that's really special.
It's so special. And I think as well, when you look at this, when I look at these characters, they break my heart on so many levels, because one of the things that really breaks me about them is I just want to go to them. You need to find some sort of level of self-love for yourself, right? They need to go on this journey, and they just can't find any ways to love themselves. And that's a universal journey we all go on. And I think we all relate to that in so many ways. And I was really reflecting on my own journey with loving myself and, going on that journey. What has your own relationship been like with finding self-love for yourself as a person?
I think when I was a teenager, I was one of those people who I just never knew what was cool or not. So if like people at that album, I'd be like, oh, tell me about it. I just didn't know what was trendy. And then when I went to drama school, I met some of like my best mates even now, who were just like so themselves and taught me how to just be myself. And I think that's like the nicest gift you can give a friend, really. And I think I learned through them that whatever I liked, whatever I did was okay.
Do you feel like you're stepping into yourself in new ways now?
Well, a big thing happened to me, and maybe I'll just talk about it. I came out actually in November 22.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And that was a mega thing for me, because for so long, I'm surrounded by gays. Like all my friends are gay. And so it wasn't that I was like repressing anything. It was just that I didn't think I could be, and I still can't articulate it in the best way. But I realised I was a big old gay. I was like, that's what it's been. That's what it is. And that was like a massive moment where everything kind of clicked. And I made sense for myself then. Because for so long I'd thought, and I'm a bigger woman, and I thought maybe it was to do with like my size, that I felt a little bit almost alien, or like I was tagging along. But as soon as I realised, I was like, no, it's that. And that was like the most like liberating thing. And there's a really emotional thing actually in Baby Reindeer where Donny talks about sleeping for the first time at his parents' house. And I told my family in Christmas that year, and I like slept for like 10 hours that night. Yeah. Because I kind of was like, oh, that's what this has been. It's been like a little secret, I guess, I've been keeping from myself even. And not in a kind of hating way. I never felt I was repressing anything in a bad way, or that any reaction would be bad. I just kind of was like, I didn't think I could be. And then when it all clicked, I was like, oh, it makes so much sense. I mean, in hindsight, I used to like go downstairs and watch The L Word, so probably that would have been a bit of a...
That's a big giveaway.
Big giveaway, just for the acting, obviously, the storyline.
The storyline and some of the visuals too.
And I used to wear like, dungarees, stereotypical, I know, have a bum bag, wear a No Fear, backwards No Fear cap when I was a teenager. So everyone around me probably was like, when is she going to come out?
Yeah.
And it took me 36 years.
But you did it.
But I did it.
Were you so proud of yourself in that moment?
I was. I mean, I should have even known when I did Pride, because I would cry all the time. All the time. I found it so emotional. I should have really known then. And then I did a play with Cate Blanchett where I got to kiss her every night on stage. Again, I should have known then.
That's a lesbian
so it's like
dream.
Lesbian, yeah, it's just all these signs from the universe. Bloody reindeer staring me in the face. Should have known all these signs. But no, yeah, it's been amazing and very freeing and very grounding. I feel like really peaceful, actually. Yeah.
I can feel that sitting across from you,
Oh dear, that's
actually.
nice. Yeah.
Can I give you a hug? Because I
Yeah,
feel
of
like
course.
you need
Thank
that
you.
after
Thank
that.
you.
Honestly. It's so, honestly, that I when you were talking about that, because I went through, obviously
Yeah.
I came out.
Yeah. What?
Breaking news. And actually, I wrote about it recently, in that moment where you finally told the people you care about,
Yeah.
and they didn't reject you, they just accept you with open arms, and that weight off your shoulders just leaving your whole body.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
It's the most freeing experience
Yeah, and if ever I'd
ever.
thought about it before, I used to always think it would be naively. I always used to think it would be just like weirdly like a sexual thing, like that if you're telling people that I like boobs and that's, I mean, you'd be like,
No,
no,
yeah.
it's not that in any way. You're going, this is who I am, and it's actually really emotional. It is so exposing, but it's also really lovely because you're going, this is my soul a bit.
Yes.
Not to sound too cheesy, but you are going, this is who I am, and you're getting to have those amazing chats with all your loved ones. It's really special. And also loads of my friends have shared that sometimes it wasn't that easy, and that's really emotional too, you know. But yeah, it's been lovely and freeing and really emotional, but also great. Everyone's been amazing and so supportive.
And it's so amazing when you share your story and it resonates with other people too. And I think that's what's so special about coming out in a way, because it's so important to do that.
Yeah.
Because it shows other people like, yeah, it's okay, babe.
Yeah, it's all
It's
right.
absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Come along for the journey. It's absolutely great.
Yeah.